All right, this is going to be a quick little workout for opening and strengthening the thoracic spine. Let's come into a tabletop position. First to start, palms open, spread fingers wide, hands below the shoulders, elbows straight, knees below the hips, toes tucked under. We're going to do a little cat-cow here. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Try to move from your tailbone first, section by section, low back, thoracic, cervical, and then tuck, lumbar, thoracic, cervical. So we're moving from the tailbone. Inhale to stretch the front. Exhale to stretch the back. Head moves last, tailbone moves first. Finding your own pace. Couple more. When you're ready, you'll just come back to neutral. Now let's separate three sections. Let's do just the low back first. Tuck the tailbone, lift the tailbone up. Tuck the tailbone, lift the tailbone up. Arching and rounding the low back. Now try the same thing with the head. Chin up, chin in, chin up, chin down and in. This would be cervical, right? The neck. Couple more. Now we'll do thoracic. So thoracic is the trickiest one. And what we're gonna do is make sure that we're not on the shoulders. So first try with the elbows straight, going up and down a few times, retracting your scapula and protracting your scapula. So think shoulder blades touch and then they separate away from each other. Let your heart go to the ground and then press your heart away from the ground. So this will be a shoulder scapular movement. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it either with the shoulder blades together or the shoulder blades apart. Either position works, but we're gonna keep it static and then get into the spine by moving just the spine, not the shoulders. So here, for example, I have retraction, my shoulder blades are together, and I'm doing thoracic flexion, thoracic extension. I'm not at the low back or the neck. I could also do it with the arms protracted. Either way works. Depends a little bit on what you have going on. I think it's good to try both ways. Just trying to get movement on the spine, wherever it's available. All right, from here, let's go to child pose. You can do this with the knees together or place the knees apart. Big toes are touching. Arms forward, hips to the heels, head to the ground, tuck the chin in, forehead heavy. Keep pressing the hips to the heels. Keep the upper body heavy, but walk your hands and torso to the right to give it a little extra stretch on the left side. Deep breaths, using the breath to stretch the body. Breathe into the spine. Maybe taking it an inch farther into the rotation. And back to center. Reset here. And let's go to the left side. Stretching now the right side of the body. Try to stay low and heavy. With a big breath, use the breath to stretch. Maybe taking it a little bit farther if it feels good. And come back to center. Reset here, couple big breaths. Back to tabletop, and we'll do what's called a thread the needle. So let's start with the left side. Inhale your left arm straight out to the side, and then thread it underneath your right and send it towards the right side. Get your left ear on the ground or towards the ground, and the left shoulder away from the ear. So obviously there shouldn't be any neck pain here. We're going to use the right arm, hand or fist to support here so we can take weight off our torso and go a little bit deeper into the rotation. Sometimes people will use a pillow or a little padding here so it's easier on the neck. Make sure your wrist is stacked underneath your elbow. And big breaths here. Try to keep your hips squared. Okay, when you're ready, press through that right arm. And come back to center, and we'll switch sides. So now the right arm is going to inhale to the side and up, and then exhale. Thread underneath the left armpit, right ear and shoulder to the ground but away from each other. Use your left hand to support the torso. Go deeper into the twist. And then use the breath to create space. When you're ready, bring it back to center. And reset. Couple cat-cows here to straighten up the spine. And we'll come over to seated. Now, ideally, you would have a yoga block, something to sit on so that your hips are elevated a little bit. It'll make it easier on the low back, and thus you'll probably get a little more movement on the thoracic spine, but you can also just do it with sit bones on the ground. Very similar, we're gonna inhale and arch, exhale and round, inhale, open the front, exhale, close the front, open the back. You could get the shoulders involved here. Inhale, the shoulders go back. Exhale, the shoulders go forward. Okay, let's come back to neutral for a moment. And now let's try to do it only on the thoracic spine. So I'll turn, you can see the difference. What we were just doing was a bit of everything at the same time. Low back, thoracic, and neck moving. What we're gonna do now is just the thoracic. Not really much movement on the low back or the neck. So we're isolating. You can bring awareness to the shoulders and try to keep those shoulders back so that you know that you're moving from the spine and not from the scapula. Or like I said earlier, you can also just have them forward and try like that. Doesn't make a huge difference as long as you're making sure that the movement is focused on the thoracic spine. Okay, after a couple of those, come back up to straight. Arms to the side. Let's inhale the right arm first up so you can get some length. And then we're going to side bend. So we're using here the left hand for support. Some people like to bring the forearm and the elbow down. We don't need to go too deep. Try to keep your right sit bone down. And make sure the head is in a comfortable position. Neither the right ear too close to the right shoulder, but also not dropping the head. See if you can get it maybe in alignment with your sternum. You're reaching with the fingers, you're reaching with the scapula, but you're rooting down through the right sit bone. Inhale to come up. Exhale, hand down. Inhale, right arm up, straight up first, and then side. Left sit bone rooting. Big breaths here. Easy on the neck. Straight the other side again. Inhale up, exhale, hand down. Inhale, right arm. And side bend. And let's come up, hand down. Last time, left arm up. And come up, release. Back to neutral, a couple flexion and extensions here. Back to center. Okay, rotation. Left hand outside the right knee, palm facing out. So think external rotation of the shoulder. Rotation to the right. Right hand back, close to the hips so that you can lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. You don't have to force it, but keep it active. On the inhale, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, contract the abdominals. Let's do one more inhale here. Exhale, come back to center. And let's do the other side. Right hand, external rotation, supination off the palm. Hook it right outside the left knee, left arm back. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Big breaths. One more big breath in. Exhale back to center. Arch and round. A couple times. All right. It's a good start.